Koto Markie here, so this is going to be a good one. So first of all, who is this video for? That's an important question, isn't it? Don't normally ask that. I should ask that more often. So this video is definitely for anyone who is also a YouTuber. It'll also be interesting for anyone who is a friend of the channel, or a friend of mine or Gwendoline's, that follows the channel and is interested in what we do and why we do it. Okay, so who, as the topic of this video, is who is this channel for? Wow, that's a big question, and not an easy, straightforward answer, but of course it's an important question, and one I should have the answer for, because it's a business, or it's part of a business, I guess. I'll talk a little bit about how I use the channel in terms of business a little bit later on. I don't expect to make money from the channel itself, not for a long time anyway, maybe eventually, but it is part of a business and it's very important to me. And of course, any kind of business, you need to know who your customers are. And any kind of marketing you do, and that's where YouTube comes in for me. It's a marketing tool for me. I also use it for altruistic purposes, but that's also marketing. You know, when you're promoting something altruistic, that's also marketing. So you need to know who you're marketing to, and then target your marketing towards that group. Wow, it's a bit complicated. Okay, it's a little bit complicated. So I'm putting the camera at the screen, as the more observant among you will no doubt be able to tell. For some reason my screen's really dark at the moment. I can't seem to get my screen to go brighter. I don't know why. I like it really bright as well, but it's a bit dull. I'm not sure if it's always like that or if it's just like that today. So I've got my analytics open, so we're going to go through some of those because they're kind of quite interesting. But yeah, just broadly then, my channel. So as many of you will know, that the channel has a mission and a cause, and that cause is we want to get as much free information, life-saving information out there to people who suffer with an under-recognised condition called retroactive jealousy, which isn't formally recognised by the medical or psychiatric profession, not yet anyway. We're pushing for that. Loads of people have this condition. It's very common, but very few people know that it's a condition. If you have it, the chances of you going online and being able to identify and say, oh, you know, what I'm suffering from is retroactive jealousy, are actually still quite slim. More and more people are doing it, and you know, there are subreddits, and there are Facebook groups and communities online for retroactive jealousy. So it is happening, but my guess is that the people that recognize that it's a thing are the tip of a very large iceberg. So there's tons of people out there all across the world, because it seems to be an international phenomenon, who have retroactive jealousy, don't know what it is, don't know it's a thing. They think it's just them. They're just weird, odd, crazy, and they suffer enormously, as do their partners, as the partners suffer alongside them. So a big part of our goal is to the goal of our channel is to use the channel as a vehicle to get the videos that we've done on retroactive jealousy, and there's nearly 200 of them, to those people, and just generally out into society, you know, and to the media as well. We want the media to pick up on this and start talking about retroactive jealousy. So that's the altruistic side. It's also the main means of marketing for therapy. So I'm a psychotherapist in private practice. I have a number of specialisms, of course retroactive jealousy being one of them, but also specialise in a lot of sexual issues, among other things, and I also work generically as well. So you can check out our website, which is linked in the description box below, for all the stuff we do. I'm not going to go into that in depth, because we talk about that in other videos. So the problem I have is because I'm neurodivergent, I have autism and ADHD and a number of other conditions that make organisation difficult in lots of ways. So if I didn't have that problem, I would just have a channel purely for retroactive jealousy. and all the other videos that I post, which are about a very wide range of things, would be on one or more other channels. But I put them all together because to do otherwise would be impossible for me to manage. The other reason as well is that I put everything together is, and this is a more positive reason, is I don't want to scrape the barrel. So some channels that cover something like retroactive jealousy, because of YouTube, you have to keep posting stuff. You know, I couldn't just leave. So I've got a good body of work. You know, I've got over 200. Nearly 200 videos, sorry, and I could just put them all on a retroactive jealousy channel and let it sit there, but that wouldn't work. You have to keep putting new content on a channel, otherwise they die. That's a YouTube thing. The YouTubers among you will know that. So I have to keep posting stuff, and I enjoy posting stuff. You know, I don't want to, it's not a sub story that I'm doing here. So by combining retroactive jealousy content and non-retroactive jealousy content, it solves that problem to a degree, but it also confuses the hell out of my potential market. So my potential, the people that the channel is aimed at, is people who have retroactive jealousy, or partners of people who have retroactive jealousy, and also like the media and the medical and psychotherapeutic establishments, so that I can promote and raise awareness for retroactive jealousy. The other people I want to aim the channel towards are people that might be interested in psychotherapy. And that's not just with me, by the way. That's a team. I've got a whole team of people that I work with, and we provide specialist support for retroactive jealousy. And I work with some of the other specialisms as well. So that's who we're aiming the channel for. But the content that we put out is probably generally not attracting the people that we necessarily need to be watching. So in a way, because retroactive jealousy is a condition that is spread among every demographic, so it's not that it attracts. It seems it's a possibility that it might slightly affect more males than females. But it seems to be pretty much kind of gender balanced. But also, for every female sufferer, there's a male partner, or every male sufferer, there's a female partner where they're in heterosexual relationships, and that's so. So what am I trying to say? I'm not trying to be heteronormative here. What I'm broadly trying to say is that it's as important to get that message out to either sex. Or people who identify as other genders, because it affects them as well. Lots of people who are transgender are affected by retroactive jealousy. So there's no gender bias. I can't say, right, well, I'm marketing mainly to men. There's no age limit. As far as we're aware, it seems to affect people for a very sort of wide range, from very young to elderly. I suppose it's not affecting children. Some of the therapy that I do is with children, but for other things, not for the retroactive jealousy. So it's international. It's all over the world, in all different cultures. We get inquiries from people from everywhere. It doesn't seem to be a respecter of social class or anything like that. So it's a difficult. So in a way, it's the fact that my videos cover a wide range of different topics and would appeal to a wide range of people. In a way, that's no bad thing, because retroactive jealousy affects a wide range of people. But I do, like I say, I do a lot of the things that are wrong. If I didn't have neurodiversity, I would, and I didn't have the difficulties that I do, I would do everything right. And I would do a retroactive jealousy separate channel, and I probably would force myself to scrape the barrel and make content every week on retroactive jealousy, even if it's a bit recycled. But I really don't want to do that. I don't like doing that, and it doesn't seem kind of like a decent thing to do, really. If it doesn't feel good. So we could look at the analytics and see who actually does look at my channel, watch my videos. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so forgive the jazzing screen. If that effect gives you a migraine or might bring on a seizure, please look away. You don't look at the screen, just listen. There's not that much visual content. It's mainly me talking. Hopefully I'll I'll voice everything that I'm talking about that's visual on the screen. So, top geographies. So this is just based on the last 28 days. So if you've got a YouTube channel, obviously it would behoove you to keep a close eye on these analytics. So you go into YouTube Studio, that's how I do it, and then you get your menu there, and you get your analytics, and it breaks down into lots of different sections. Okay, now some people run YouTube as a business. Excuse me, have a sip of water. Some people run it as a hobby. Some people it's somewhere in between the two. So if you're just running it as a hobby and it's friends and you're not too worried about developing it, you don't need to be worrying too much about this. But if you're doing it, if you're doing it as a business, or if you're serious about growing your channel, then it is important to look at your analytics. Now, so geographies. This is interesting. Okay. So by and large, the majority of people that watch my channel, 19.6% are from the USA, 3.4% from Spain. Now I think that's actually a very few people who are very loyal and watch an awful lot. So a lot of views come from Spain, but I don't think it's actually that many people. New Zealand, where I live, only 2.1%. Canada, 1%, and then the United Kingdom, which is where I'm from, and I think my channel would appeal a lot to UK people because I talk a lot about UK things, is very low. See more. Okay. So there's a purpose to why I'm going through all that. I'm not just sharing my channel analytics just for the sake of it, because that would be boring as hell, wouldn't it? I'm doing this for a purpose. So we've got a fancy graph. But we've also got more of a breakdown. Okay, so it's still the same running order: United States, Spain, New Zealand, Canada, UK, Philippines. Yep, I'm aware that I've got quite a few followers in the Philippines. India, I didn't know I had as many. Yes, I do. I do know that I have a few. I can think of some individual followers that are from India. Australia, didn't know I had that many there. Vietnam, yes, I was aware of that. But weirdly, what surprises me is Indonesia is not coming up. I seem to have a lot of people from Indonesia. What are the other demographics? So to go back, I don't know. So we're looking at the raw data here, but I'm going to kind of explain it a little bit more and make it a little bit more real, and talk about the reality. Okay, so this is interesting. So out of all the people that watch my videos, 57.6% are not subscribers and only 42 are subscribers. But that is not unusual. That's kind of most YouTubers. The majority of their viewers are non-subscribers. And there's actually a thing, to use a technical term, on here. So this is so returning viewers is in the purple. So that's kind of that would include the subscribers, people that come back. Not all of them are subscribers, but most of the subscribers would be in that purple group, and that's kind of steady sort of straight line of people that watch a lot of my content regardless of what it is. And the new viewers, you see that's more spiky, they come and go. So that depends a lot on some of the topics that I cover. So for example, if I ever do anything on true crime, I usually get a lot more new viewers come in. Sometimes I just do things that are topical, and that's when I get the new viewers coming. Some of them stick around and some of them don't. So you can see, those two lines there are kind of quite close. So maybe that indicates that some of the new people are sticking around. So again, this is interesting because I cover a multitude of topics. I get people come in for true crime. They're not necessarily going to be interested in the other stuff that I do. So again, that's a problem potentially. So I'm growing quite fast at the moment. I think it's fast. So in the last 28 days, 31 subscribers. So that's over a subscriber a day, slightly. What else? Now, annoyingly, this would be a useful thing to know about, wouldn't it? Channels your audience watches. So that would tell me a whole lot more. That would be very useful information. But I'm not enough eligible audience data. So I suppose you only get that when you have more views, I guess. What your audience watches. The format they watch it on, I don't think that's particularly useful. Videos, shorts. Okay, yeah, it's useful to know. So people that follow my channel seem to watch the videos and the shorts just as much. Now that live thing, I hardly ever do lives, so that's not really that useful. That's a red herring. The kind of device, mainly mobile phone, which is like me. I watch everything on a mobile phone, quite a lot on computer, some on the telly, and some on a smaller number on a tablet. Okay, that's not that information. That's not that useful information. Okay, so subscribers. So this is talking about people who are subscribers who turned on the who clicked the bell icon so they get all the notifications. Okay, so that's interesting. So only 19%, just let's say 20%, let's round it up for simplicity. So 20%, a small proportion of people who subscribe don't click the little bell. And if they don't click the little bell, and you may be one of these people, have you clicked the little bell, that don't get notifications, so you don't know when I'm putting out a new video, and therefore you're less likely to watch it. So please click that little bell icon. And if you're a YouTuber, that's why it's important to ask people to click the bell icon. It's not enough to ask people to subscribe. It's important to ask them to subscribe and click the bell icon. So watch time from subscribers, there you go. Look, mainly non-subscribers, but there's not too bad a gap there between the two. What else have we got? We've done the geographies. Most people don't use subtitles, and the ones that do, most of the ones that do want English subtitles, so obviously you need to speak more clearly. Russian, that's interesting because it's not showing up elsewhere, is it? Persian. So this could be one individual. I know of. I'm not aware of. I did have somebody following me from Iran. I'm not aware that they still follow me, so that would account for the Persian. Russian, I don't know. There's such small numbers, it could be just one person. Okay, so this is interesting. So there's a big gap between in my current viewers between females and males. That's a big gap. 90% male, just under 10% female. And then age is interesting as well, because I'm not getting young people, which makes sense because my content isn't aimed at young people. That doesn't surprise me at all. But I'm getting 25 to 34. It's interesting. And then 45 to 54, and then 55 to 64. What's accounting for that strange gap then? That people between 25 and 64 watch my videos, but people between 35 and 44 don't. What's that about? Do I do something that's offensive to people that are in that age range, or do I just not resonate with that age range at all? That's interesting. So my age range, so it makes sense that the age range that I appeal to mostly is my age range, 55 to 64. I'm a little bit below, so either side of my age range. So that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's age and gender. What else have we got? When your viewers are on YouTube, so I suppose I could use that to inform when I put my videos out, so that they're there waiting, ready to see it. I haven't done, but I probably should, although I find suffering from dyscalculia, I find graphs and charts and things like that really hard work. I find them very hard to make sense of. So let's have a look at videos growing your audience in the last 90 days. Okay, so they all count as low. So these are the highest, but they count as low by YouTube standards, because obviously I'm a small channel at the moment and there's going to be much bigger channels. So Retroactive Jealousy, The retroactive jealousy ones always do well comparatively. That's a retroactive jealousy one. That's a retroactive. Nikki's Did You Like Her in the Morning is a retroactive jealousy one. Does sunscreen feel disgusting on your skin? That's an autism one. When can someone legitimately call themselves a scientist? That's a general interest one. That's about porn and sex addiction is something I write about a lot. So that's doing well. Autism is something I talk about a lot. So that's doing well. So I can see more. So what else are the most performing ones? So my videos on language, which I love doing, don't get many views. They're never very popular. But again, they're not being pushed. They're not being clearly marketed to people. So what's happening here? Was my screen frozen? I think my screen might have frozen. Let's close some tabs. Here we go. All right. Bottom performing videos. Top performing videos we've already seen. Bottom performing videos. Okay. So a lot of these are shorts. Okay. All apart from one are shorts. So who does watch my? That's the analytics. That's the data. But who actually does watch my videos, and why do they watch them? And what groups might we, they fall into? Well, I have a big following. There's actually I would say Asian. Just to kind of simplify it, like I say, we know that India, a little bit of Vietnam, Philippines, but I get a lot from Indonesia. I don't know why they're not showing, and various places. I get people in Europe. I do get a lot of people who speak English as a second language, and they like my videos because when I'm talking about content and stuff like that, I usually go to a beautiful place and show you a view. Or if I'm at home, I show you the screen. You don't have to look at my ugly mug. So you don't have to be good at English and follow every word. You can kind of you can just take in, let it wash over you, and just enjoy the view. So I think a lot of people actually tune into my YouTube channel for relaxation. Through looking at beautiful places. I want to bring this back to the more general page. Overview. That's overview. Right. So actually, my views have been down a little bit, but I did have a period. I try and post every day, and week before last, I think I had a week without posting. I went away, so I think that might be to do with that. And these are the recent ones. So your top content during the last 28 days, I believe it is. So most of these videos are videos that I put out in the last 28 days. True crime always goes. That's a true crime video there, Deception Detective. They always go down well. Did one on Star Wars. That didn't do as well as I thought it might. I thought Star Wars would be popular. So how the dickens am I supposed to market my channel? Bearing in mind that the people I want it to reach the most are people with retroactive jealousy, who might not be interested in a lot of the content that I put out, who fit within every demographic, so I can't specialize. And let me show you my playlists as well, because this will give you an indication of the breadth of topics that I cover, which again is great for me because I like to talk about lots of different things. But it's not great in terms of running a channel. It's not the done thing. So playlist. So if you're a YouTuber, I'd be interested in your own analysis, your own channel analysis, in the way that I've looked at mine and pontificated on who are my customers, who are my viewers, who is my audience. So here we go. Look. So I've done loads of stuff. Mark's Weird Nature, miscellaneous, Markie's bloopers. Most of my bloopers go on Patreon, but the short ones won't Patreon won't go on there, so you can watch my short bloopers on YouTube, but you have to join my Patreon to watch most of my bloopers. Religious, mystical, occult topics, paranormal topics, strange and wonderful finds on me, just short bloopers. 1 minute musings on music, that's a new series I've been doing. It's been quite popular. Markie on rock music, Markie on progressive rock, Markie's relaxation with nature. Well, won't this scroll down? Why can't we? Oh, because you've got to click onto the next bit. Statement analysis and deception detection. That's and it's Markie on psychology of crime, true crime analysis. Sci-fi topics, Black Sabbath rarities. That's for me really, but I'll make that list public so people can join. That's a private list of various videos that I recommend for clients. That's films that I want to watch. Music, that's for me, private list. Personal development. So being a psychotherapist, a lot of stuff that I do is on, mental health, self-awareness, personal development. Although there's only 9 in the playlist, that's because I haven't actually put that. It's a new playlist. I haven't actually allocated a lot of the videos to the playlist. It's a job for me to do. My favorite YouTube channel, so a lot of what I do is paying tribute to other channels that I like. I do a little video about their channels. Lots of stuff. Marking on social skills for Aspies and ASCIIs, reviews, retroactive, 194. So I said nearly 100. Recommended videos from other creators. That's just other people's videos that I just put there for, and people can just watch them. So it's not my work. And that's one for retroactive jealousy videos. So 23 videos from other creators on retroactive jealousy, poetry and the bardic tradition, random nautica, narcissism and narcissists, videos featuring Gwendoline. Now Gwendoline's joined the channel. We've joined forces. You've noticed I haven't really talked about it very much. Currently she's been kind of focused on other business, so she hasn't been making videos like she was. So this is where it gets even more interesting, because she's putting videos on the channel. She's going to attract a whole different demographic, cover different topics, although there will be some overlap. So it makes it even more of a smorgasbord, which hopefully is kind of a good thing. Sorry, I'm knocking things over because I'm fidgeting. Also, Gwendoline's nicer to look at than me, and she does better presentation. My presentation is all over the bloody place. I'm going to talk about that in a minute as well, because that's important. Gwendoline edits her videos and she scrubs up and presents nicely, and of course she's lovely. I'm biased because she's my wife. So she's a whole different kettle of fish, really, if you add Gwendoline stuff into the mix. And there is quite a lot of Gwendoline stuff on here already, but we plan for there to be more, but that's not happening right at the moment. Demystify psychotherapy and psychology, psych song series. So I've done a lot of stuff on song lyrics analysis. I do a lot of stuff on animals. I thought I'd break down some like the wildlife video. Really, it's a subset of the wildlife video, but it also includes kind of domesticated animals and pets and things. Some music, sacred and choral, that's for me to listen to. Markie's mad meteorology, so weird weather that I experience. There's a lot of that in this country. Markie demystifies the art of elegant speech, my least popular series, but 68 videos and I love it. Room 101, that's a bit of a rant about things I don't like. Support for gender identity issues, because it's a field of work that I'm involved in. Markie on addiction, loads of that. Psychology of sex, hidden dangers of online porn, I talk a lot about that. Far side tales and anecdotes, book reviews. I won't go through everything. So again, that's another playlist. It's got some of my stuff on, because I've done videos on All About Eve, but basically that's a band that I'm interested in, and I've collated lots of their rarities as singles and B-sides and live performances and stuff like that for me to play for my own delectation, but made it public because other people will enjoy that too. It's nice to share. Autism and Markie on neurodiversity. Now this is bringing us into a new topic here. Okay, so this is something I want to talk about as a thing in itself. Okay, so I have I'm thinking about a new tagline for the channel, and it's partly inspired by the True Crime Rocket Science channel, and he uses a channel. This is a channel I followed. I've done videos on. He uses the tagline, "The most authentic voice in true crime," and I kind of thought, well, yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting he's choosing to focus on authenticity rather than anything else. And I'm thinking, well, I'm bloody autistic. Sorry, what I meant to say is I'm very authentic, but I don't want to pinch his tagline or anything too close to it. But I'm kind of thinking the most unmasked channel on YouTube. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Well, I mentioned before I am neurodivergent. So neurodivergent means, so neuro means nerves. And most of our, there's a big bunch of nerves in our brain. Our brain is just a big bundle of nerves, really. So it's referring to kind of the brain, really, in this case. And divergent means different, varying, not the normal, not the typical. So I have a different brain, and I'm not bragging, or likewise, I'm not kind of having a pity party. When you have things like autism, ADHD, which I do, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, they're the conditions that I've got, but there are other conditions that you might have, like dyslexia, dysgraphia, and a whole bunch of others, where people tend to refer to these as developmental disorders or disabilities, but actually they're differences. Often they do bring disability, but they also bring superpowers on some level. But it makes us different. Okay, so I'm different. I'm weird. I've always been weird, and I've been spiky. I'm always spiky. So a lot of times in my life, at school and stuff like that, people have said things that have kind of implied that they thought I was gifted and I was going to go far in life and do something amazing, and cure cancer or something. But what I found is, as life went on, I found that more and more I was just struggling with a lot of things that people just take for granted. So, for example, sports and games. I can't follow the rules in most games for various reasons, and I can't follow a lot of systems, and a lot of things don't stick in my memory very well. So a lot of practical things. So, for example, therapy work, I'm brilliant at. Okay, but when I get employed by somebody to do therapy work rather than self-employed, employers always have these lovely systems, don't they? That, like things like timesheets and or just systems for keeping notes and data. I don't have a problem with notes. I'm very good with English and writing, and being very accurate with written information, but I'm not good with a lot of these systems and things. So I have a nightmare of a time. So this is my channel reflects this. So this is why I'm always saying in my videos, there is absolutely no style. Like you see, it's a shaky camera because it's me holding up my iPhone facing my computer screen. I could and I can present in a much more organized way, and I have done in lots of different capacities, and I've run lots of groups and done lots of psychoeducational groups and that kind of thing. And particularly where I've run the group for a long time, it is it's very organized. It's a very good presentation. Often it's quite funny as well. There's humor, there's the participatory elements of it all are really good and that kind of thing. But when I do YouTube videos, I tend to do them very much on the hoof. And the reason being is if I didn't do them on the hoof, and if I put that level of planning into them, as I would maybe for like a one-off, live presentation or something like that, I just would never do anything. It just wouldn't happen. So my style on YouTube, at least, not so much in other forms of presentation, because I guess I present in a much more neurotypical way on these other platforms. But when I do videos and YouTube stuff, I'm very much myself. So that's where the authentic comes in, and I'm very unmasked, and I talk in a very conversational, free-flowing way. If I am tempted by the idea of a tangent, I'm talking about topic A, and we're just touching on topic B, C, and D, I will go with the tangents. It's like when I'm driving. I'm one of these drivers that thinks, there's going from A to B and then sees a little lane going off in one direction and suddenly thinks, oh, I wonder where that goes. And I drive down there. But I always come back. I haven't got lost down these lanes yet. So my channel is, some people hate it. Lots of people hate it. But it's interesting. I've come across other people who have very similar styles, and they're the channels that I enjoy watching. Okay, so this is leading to somewhere here. There's a point to the end of this. So, for example, the Pat Brown channel, Pat Brown Criminal Profiler channel, and the Andy Edwards music channel. I'm sure they both got ADHD. I would put money on it. Obviously, that's not a diagnosis, and I'm not qualified to diagnose anyway. But I would put, when you have neurodivergent conditions, it's a bit like gaydar. You can, I've studied it academically as well, but I can spot, somebody else with ADHD or somebody else with autism kind of, really quickly. And they're the channels that I enjoy. And they get grief from people about their presentation style as well. But I love it. So this is the point I'm trying to make, is I think overall, my channel, or I say my channel, our channel, because it's Gwendoline's joined and come on board, so it's our channel. But my contributions to the channel, for the most part, I think, are videos that people with various neurodivergent conditions would enjoy, because they might resonate with the style. Now, it's a very broad statement, because the very thing about neurodiversity is it's divergent. It has great diversity. So it's the whole statement: if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Same with ADHD and all the rest of it. But I think there's going to be a big chunk of people who are not neurotypical, who think and operate, and their brains work in a similar way to mine, and they'll enjoy the channel. So if anything, in terms of the audience that I should be aiming for, apart from people with retroactive jealousy, I should be aiming for people who are neurodivergent, who will hopefully enjoy the style of my presentation, and therefore will watch videos on a range of topics, because they enjoy the style, which is what I did. So it's like Andy Edwards does stuff on music, but if he did stuff on cheese, I might watch it, because I find him funny and I enjoy his style, so I would watch his videos on cheese. So maybe that's a direction I need to go in. And because I just shoot videos spontaneously off the hoof, I'm very me. I don't censor myself much. You obviously have to censor yourself a bit, don't you, when you have a YouTube channel, when you put videos out to the world. Very minimal self-censorship, very genuine, authentic presentation, warts and all. This is how it is. So unmasked, I think, is a good word. So what do you think about that? I mean, using that as a tagline, and then I need to think about how I use it as a tagline. Where exactly would I put that? But I think that's something I'm going to experiment with. Now, what do I mean by unmasked? Okay, so this is a big topic in the world of particularly autism at the moment. Is for years and years and years, the world, the allistic, which is a word for non-autistic, the allistic world has tried to help, in inverted commas, autistic people by trying to make them normal. So, for example, if they have a problem with eye contact, they drill it into them that they must make eye contact. And if they do anything, if they stim, which is kind of often it's like a ritual or repetitive action that people would do as a form of self-stimulation or self-calming. So often children with autism, for example, will flap their hands, and sometimes adults with autism will flap their hands, and it's helpful. It helps them function. But too many people have had it beaten out of them metaphorically and sometimes, unfortunately, literally, during the course of their life. So they learn to act normal. Don't stim, don't flap your hands. Oh no, look, the screen's gone, and it shows you how dusty it is. It's embarrassing, isn't it? It's probably because I burn lots of incense in here and the ash gets everywhere. It's a dusty country as well, New Zealand. It's very dusty here, I've noticed. Not like the UK. London's quite dusty, I find. But most parts of the UK aren't too dusty. So if you walk around in the wind, like in a town in New Zealand, it's not, I find you quite often get, a bit of dust in your eye. See, it's a tangent. But New Zealand, yeah, but UK, most places you won't. London more so, I think, because London's kind of, it's just got so much kind of grit and stuff and what have you. So, I'm gonna scroll back. So this is a very unmasked channel. It's like, it's a sort of a let it all hang out channel. That I think is my audience, but it's going to be it's still not ain't going to quite work really, because fundamentally what I'm doing doesn't suit doesn't fit with all the right things that you're supposed to do if you're running a YouTube channel. And one of the channels that I follow, Deception Detective, he does everything right. He's got good content, but I also like the way he runs his channel. He just does everything right, and he's been super successful. So I know, I don't anticipate getting super successful. I'm not going to be one of the big YouTubers. But what I hope is that I find my audience. I find the people who like, and I think that's the thing really. It's not the topics, it's the presentation style. If I can find people that enjoy my presentation style, I think I could have a pretty successful channel. I might even earn a small, an income to some degree. I'm not, like I say, it's not my goal really to, I won't say no. It'd be great to have an income from YouTube. I'm just about to get monetized. Technically, it doesn't mean you get money. But to have a medium-sized channel where I did get a small income or a medium income would be fantastic. But I'm not holding my breath for that. But the YouTube is my primary way of getting information about retroactive jealousy out to people, and that brings in work through people that I see for therapy and people that my team see for therapy. So we advertise the business, and we also do loads of stuff for free to help people and educate people. So we're doing a lot of things with this channel. This channel is many things to many people. I wish there were more people. I wish it was many things to many more people. It's tricky. It's tricky. I'm doing all the wrong things, and to an extent I have to do all the wrong things because my neurodivergence means I can't do all the right things. So another way around this issue would be to get the right help, get somebody in that edits and collates and runs channels, and I just carry on doing what I want to do in my haphazard way, and they tidy it up and put it in a more logical and what's the word, efficient and what's the word for prosperous, where where you make a lot of money. I can't think what it is. There's a word, isn't there, but it's gone out of my head. I want to say yeah, tell me what the word is, put it in the comments. So I can either carry on doing what I'm doing, and it's going to continue to grow because it is growing, but it's going to be slow, and I'm frustrated that I'm not reaching enough people with retroactive jealousy, or I could remedy it by getting some help from somebody, getting help from the right person. Now I do get help, but I need more help, and it's about finding, I'll probably get loads of people kind of in the comments saying, oh, I see that your channel isn't performing as well as it might be. I can help you with the SEO or whatever. But those people, I don't know them, and I want somebody that I can trust, because it's a very personal thing. I want somebody good who I can get along with. Ideally, somebody that believes, and has some passion for what we're trying to do. and come on board with me and just do the production, editing, and also help me with other social media platforms, because I want to market on other social media platforms. For example, I'm on Instagram, but I can't get my head around Instagram. It confuses me completely. I'm on Reddit, and I set up a Reddit retroactive jealousy group, but it's kind of come to a halt because I can't figure out how to navigate it, how to operate it properly. So I do need some. So ultimately, my plan is to kind of pretty much carry on doing what I'm doing until I can find somebody good that can give me the help that I need. And my hope is that I will attract more and more the kind of people who are attracted to this channel because they like listening to my ramblings. Lots of people hate ramblings, but I like ramblings. I will listen to people who ramble and enjoy it. So there are people out there that enjoy that stuff and will enjoy my own, unique character. And I'm not being big-headed here, because my own unique character generally is, not the best for most people, but certainly will appeal to a significant group of people if I can reach them. So don't respond to this video by giving me lots of advice on you should do this and you should do that and you should do the other, because it's the should do things that I have the problems with. that's where I'm going wrong. I know, generally speaking, what I should do. I just can't do it for one reason or another. If you can help me, that would be great. But also I'd be interested in, if you're a fellow YouTuber, do you have some of the same problems? Do you resonate with any of the things that I've said? What do you think about what I've said about my style and the type of people that it might appeal to? Maybe if you've got some tips on how I could best reach that demographic. So again, I suppose two demographics really we're looking for. So to reach the retroactive jealousy demographic, I guess that's reaching out to as many different people as possible, because it's very broad. I guess also it's reaching out to people who are interested in relationships and psychology. And maybe I could push that more, because I definitely have that in my channel, but I don't always push it. And then the other demographic is neurodivergent people, who I think would enjoy the channel. So that, I suppose that narrows it down a little bit, not a lot. Gives me something of a target, a very big target. And obviously small targets are better, aren't they? Because you can focus on them more, hone in on them. So yeah, if you've got a YouTube channel, tell me, maybe you want to do the same, do a video on your analytics, and talk a little bit about, who you think you want to reach, who you think your audience is right now, and what the difference is, what the gap is between the two, if there are such things. Or maybe you've got some other comments or observations. But yeah, just don't give me like a to-do list. You need to do this, and you should do that, and you should do the other, because that's where the problem is. Okay, if I know a lot of the things that I should do, if I wasn't who I am, I would do them. And if you're somebody that you think, well, I am the person to help Markie out here, I will come into Markie's life and solve all these problems. And I'm not saying, I'm not looking to freeload here. I mean, if somebody wants to do that on a voluntary basis because they believe in what I do, but I would like to be able to reward somebody for doing that, and ideally, on a kind of on the basis of how they make the channel grow and how they make my business grow. If I get more and more income from my business, I pay them more and more. That's what I would like. I want a right-hand person, right? They say right-hand man, don't they? Right-hand woman. I want a right-hand person. That would be good. So if you think you might be my right-hand person, let me know. But no time wasters. And if only if you're kind of, if you're willing to dedicate your life or at least say, solid input for 5 years, I suppose, is what I want. And also somebody that if they have to you know, because life changes, and if they're doing this and they have another opportunity or need to go off in a different direction, they don't just leave me high and dry. They actually help me find somebody else or tie up loose ends and stuff like that. The website as well, I need help with the website, because the website is beyond me. I have had help at different points from some great people with the website, but the website is not something I can manage myself. The content wise, yeah, you know, and the wording, because words are my thing, but not the technical side. So there we go. What do you think? Thank you for listening to. It feels quite therapeutic sharing all this. Feels like I bared my soul a little bit and shared because there's some of this stuff really frustrates me and causes me lots of problems in life. But at the same time, I also get a lot of pleasure out of just spontaneously shooting videos in the moment, on the hoof when my mojo's there, just speaking from the heart. So it's and I want to carry on doing that. Although I'm not averse to tidying things up a little bit here and there in the right places. Okay, I will leave it there, because I probably could go on. And if you've got any questions about the channel or my goals, oh look, even the computer says it's time to wrap up and finish. So please watch to the end, because even though you can hear me winding down, because when you watch to the end, it sends a little message to the YouTube algorithm that this guy's channel is good, and they will promote all our videos more widely, including our retroactive jealousy videos, and that will help loads of people who are suffering horribly, with no helping information and helpful guidance in their information at all in many cases. And then there are also people that know they have retroactive jealousy, but they don't know what to do about it, and my videos tell you what to do, tell you how to begin your recovery process. And some of the tips that I give for free are life-saving recovery tips. So if you watch right to the end, that always really helps, and I'm really grateful to you for the people that are my subscribers and supporters, and the people that aren't subscribers but keep coming back. We love you. We'd love you even more if you became a subscriber, but you don't have to. And the subscribers who haven't ticked the bell, we love you. We'd love you even more if you tick the bell. And Patreon, where I do earn a small amount of money, that's where people do make donations for the video content. And if you really want to help us out and want to come onto Patreon and be a sponsor, we love you even more still. But we love you all, even if you just watch this video once and go away again and do none of those things. We still love you, and we'll be back with more videos that could be on almost anything. But I hope you like the style. In fact, if you've listened, it's 51 minutes. If you hate my style, you probably wouldn't still be sticking around now, would you? So consider yourself a friend, and we'll see you. And thank you for your part in the journey of my channel. Lots of love. And again, just to mention Gwendoline, because she's preoccupied with something else at the moment, and there's a whole issue about what the channel will be like when Gwendoline's input resumes, and that's a whole different kettle of fish, a complicated kettle of various species of fish, I would say. So there we go. I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching Ringy Marnie.